Hello, this is yet another opportunity for me to have a discourse on Nigeria. Today's topic is about current news that Nigeria has become the capital of the world's poor. So Nigeria now has the highest number of poor people in the world. The question is, how did we arrive here? How did we really get to this current situation? Is it something that started 3 years ago because of this current regime? Or is it something that has been there, accumulated? I will say that this problem we have is accumulated, inclusive of what has become of Nigeria today. Nigerians, it is time for us to ask ourselves questions, pertinent questions. And these questions we must ask should be referred to our leaders. These questions must go to those who are coming back, that they want to become leaders in our society. We need to find out the right questions to ask. I am calling on everybody right now. Nigerians, wake up and ask the right questions. We are not asking the right questions, and that is why we are the way we are. Just imagine, we have been running a system, a process, a form of government, a model of government for about 50 years or more. And this system has failed us, yet we don't have the inclination, the ideology to change the system. If you are a coach of a football team and you do 4-2-2 or 2-4-2, whichever system you use, and this system fails you, each time you use this system, this particular system, it fails you. Come on. The best thing is to change the system or to change the model of approach, the tactics. Change is not the change we heard in 2014 through 2015. We all heard change and we jumped into the mantra of change without asking questions. This time around, I'm talking about the change that we must find out how this change is going to come. If anybody comes and says he wants to build bridge, he wants to build schools, he wants to build hospitals, he wants to end poverty, he wants to do this and that for Nigerians, we must find out from that person, how do you intend to do this? Is it from the money that comes from the government's revenue from the oil that you want to use this for? Is it the tax that accumulates from Lagos and here and there that you want to use to do this? What is the budget of Nigeria? What percentage goes on recurrent? Meanwhile, the recurrent is expenditure goes to those who work at the public sector in Nigeria to service their salaries and to maintain them. The remaining 20% goes for infrastructure in most cases. Now, tell me, how are they going to end poverty? Looking at this equation. Are we just fooling ourselves? They just say something and we consent to it, just we agreed, just like that, without asking the right questions? We need to do the right thing. And the best thing we can do for ourselves is to put these people on hot seats and ask them questions. We have intelligent people in Nigeria who have the right questions to ask. I will ask my own question if I have the opportunity. The question that I will ask is, if we have been running a particular configurational methodology of governance, and this same methodology for 50 years or more has brought Nigeria to its knees, a sorry situation that over the time, the system kept depreciating. The value of the currency kept depreciating from $1 to a naira, or even more dollar for a naira, until 360, 365, and so on. I will have to ask a question and say, this configuration, this system, is it doing us good or bad? If at this stage, the World Bank declares that Nigeria has become the poorest country in the world, or Nigeria is hosting the poorest people in the world, or the Prime Minister of England comes to put it on our face, right in Africa, she told us. And we have been running a system by the same people, and you think it is not right to ask why we must not change the system or change the people. Now, the issue is this. These people coming back, are they coming back to continue from where they stopped? What is new that they want to do? Are they coming back with a new configuration, with a new system, with a new model, a new form of government? Or are they coming back to continue with the old methodology of governance that they have been deploying, that they took from our colonial masters, which does not work for us? It would be very foolish of Nigerians to accept all of these things, because I know what they will say. They will tell you that they have experience. They have experience from being members of the National Assembly in their state, members of the House of Rep. They have been governors, they have been senators, they have been this, they have been ministers, they have been that. Honestly, these are qualifications they have gathered to occupy positions of office in order to continue to destroy Nigerians and the future of Nigerians. Because there is an evidence of what they have done. The consequence of all of these qualifications they have is what we have today as Nigeria becoming the capital of the world's poor. Tell me, after this stage, where are we going to head to? Capital of the world's poor. Where would Nigeria head to without fresh ideas into play? What new that they want to bring? Is it not the same story they have been telling us, that they want to build this, they want to do that, they want to do that? Is there anything new? Someone answer to this. Is there anything new that's saying that they want to do? Have they changed from, or is it the change from APC to PDP, from PDP to APC that makes them better people, or that will change the situation of Nigeria? I beg for an answer. And Nigerians are watching them every 4 years sustain the blackmail of impoverishing the people and their mind, so that they will every 4 years put the people to fight themselves on the basis of tribe, on the basis of religion, and partisan sentiments. This is preposterous. And I must say that Nigerian people are beginning to become accomplices in the self-destructive industry that we have built. We have now established an industry for the destruction of Nigeria. And the Nigerian people are members of the industry. It is obvious that the public-private partnership is the model, economic model established to neglect and avoid the ordinary people. The ordinary people that is considered as informal. And these people form 90%, the real soul of the nation. 90% of the population belong to the informal sector. Less than 2% are members of the public sector who take 70% or more of the yearly budgets. The remaining budget is what they call the budget for infrastructure that is being shared between the public and the private sectors. What is it that is left for the ordinary man? The ordinary man you are promising to give financial freedom. How are you supposed to give them financial freedom at this rate? Any empirical evidence? What are these people doing to us? Why can't the ordinary people gather together as one, knowing fully well that you don't belong to them? We have two nations in Nigeria, the rich and the poor. The rich is the public sector and the key players in the private sector. And the poor is the ordinary man. It's as simple as that. These people who don't belong to the public and private sector leadership must appreciate that the crumbs they eat from their master's table cannot sustain their generation. They must appreciate the fact that this nation belongs to all of us, and that all of them have right to the central pool of our national commonwealth. Nigerians have to wake up to their responsibility. I have an NGO stationed in one of the suburban locations in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory to start with. People live in squalor and disease. There is no single government public driven sector or government public institution in that location. No single one. I never saw any. But I can tell you that about 1 million people live in that location because the people are considered as informal. And they are the same people who gather themselves to vote in the people who are responsible for the situation they find themselves. There is this wall, a huge wall, a gulf between the rich and the poor. The rich only goes to those locations during campaign, and they go with security, the security that is meant for the ordinary people. One person takes with him 4, 5 to 10 policemen whom salaries are being paid from the budget of Nigeria to protect an individual. What kind of ratio is this? What kind of How does government account for itself? No justice, no form of the rule of law, no fairness, no equality, no equity. And how can we have human capital development? How can we have optimal productivity and services delivery? Does performance in the society match with the rewards? How can we have social and economic inclusion? It is obvious that citizens are not identifiable, all of these people, and are not available for monitoring. They're not available for examination. They are not available for evaluation. Government does not provide them with any form of welfare or plan for them. Government does not take the responsibility of providing them with education and employment. Government is not determined to make them productive or render services to them or make them available to render services. Government is not prepared or responsible enough to reconcile their potentials. Government does not provide them with safety and funding. This is why the country has become the poorest in the whole world. But I want to give Nigerians an assignment, the ordinary man. Now go and reason within yourself and find out the right questions to ask before you cast your votes. Send the questions to them on the internet. Voice it out when they come for the town hall meetings. When they are campaigning, ask them. Don't allow them to just take you like a crowd. Isolate yourself. Every individual should isolate oneself and ask the right question for oneself, because we all deserve equal rights and justice. They keep telling us 1 man, 1 vote. I've never heard 1 man, 1 million. Tell them what you want now is 1 man, 1 million. You deserve it because Nigeria has the resources. If Nigeria does not have the resources, Nigeria has the potentials of earning the resources when the right heads are in government. But most importantly, we must inform them that this same configuration that has been into use for many years must have to change. That we need a new configurational value, which is about a new form of government, a new system, and a new model of government. This is the only way we can come out of this situation. Otherwise, we have joined hands with them to self-destruct or destroy ourselves. That's the message I have for today.